Juan, estás aquí?
I'm here.
And we're the Stonecutters, episode 2. I'm the third.
This is Juan.
Let's take care of some business. Okay, what's our topic today, Juan?
Is a topic that is pretty controversial among rock music.
Yeah, no shit.
Yep, and it's something that we're against each other. Cutters are against each other.
Yeah, we turned heel on each other.
Yes.
By the way, turning heel is a great time to bring up Juan has a new channel, Rope Break. Check it out. They talk about wrestling. Not really my thing. I'm more of a casual fan. But it's still a part of the Cutters family, so you should check it out on Facebook.
Thanks for the plug-in, third.
No problem.
And our topic for this week is gonna be who's better, Nirvana or Pearl Jam?
And yeah, I'm one of those people that thinks Pearl Jam's better. Nevermind, is a great album. In Utero is a great album. I like Nirvana, by the way. I just think that Nirvana... Alright, this is gonna be the end of Cutters right here with this sentence. Nirvana is a brand, not a band.
I happen to disagree with that, third. Because you know what? Nirvana revolutionized music during the 90s.
Okay.
The first years of the 90s decade, Nirvana exploded.
Okay.
Smells Like Teen Spirit became #1 in the charts, kicking everybody's ass, kicking the raps, hip-hop.
They did top Dangerous by MJ.
Yep.
I'll give them that.
Yep, and you know what? Like, till this day, everybody just knows Nirvana.
Okay, but Nirvana is not complex. They're so simplistic. Kurt Cobain himself said he was not a great guitar player. His solos are probably something I could play. And I'm just going to say it. I think, in terms of guitar playing, Chad Kroeger is better.
Oh my god. If we're going to talk about Chad Kroeger...
We're not going to talk about Chad Kroeger.
That will be for another episode.
You listen to the Teen Spirit solo, and then you listen to a horrible Nickelback song, and the guitar is still more complex than anything off Nevermind. You got Pearl Jam playing songs like Black, Even Flow, Alive. They have such an expansive discography. Even the new stuff like Sirens. They have music on levels of, that Nirvana couldn't even attempt. The most musically talented part of Nirvana wasn't Kurt Cobain, it was Dave Grohl. There is no other band where I go, oh, the drummer's the most important aspect. Dave Grohl always hammered it in.
I will say that, but that's at least thanks to Kurt Cobain's death. We have the Foo Fighters.
Yeah, that's true.
We're just doing some mentioning of our first video that we did. But just remember that because of Nirvana, grunge became like a mainstream genre.
Okay,
They became household.
But it's not really. It's the notion that they're the one-all band. Like you think it's just grunge and Nirvana, that they're synonyms. They're not. Nirvana wasn't even the first grunge band. Like one of the first grunge bands was Green River from Seattle. No one knows who they are.
No?
We saw their album in the record store. I'm like, oh, Green River. And you're like, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah, I was waiting for Green Day.
Green Day.
Yeah, not Green River.
Green River, yeah. And then Temple of the Dog, Mother Love Bone.
Yeah.
But no, they're all brushed to the side because of, Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Do you know the story of Smell Like Teen Spirit?
I do not.
The story of Smell Like Teen Spirit, Kurt Cobain went to Walmart. He saw like 2 cashiers working. He passed by the deodorant section and he saw deodorant that says Teen Spirit. And then he came and smells like Teen Spirit. And he went to his home and ding, 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 ding. I will say Nirvana just became that band, that franchise band.
Yeah.
You relate grunge to Nirvana.
But I also relate Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, Stone Temple Pilots. And there's all these bands that were doing better things than Nirvana, more albums than Nirvana, more variety. Where's the variety?
Where's the variety?
And all we ever hear all the time is Nirvana, Nirvana, Nirvana. Every time they do a documentary about the 90s, they get into the grunge era. They only mention
10 minutes
Nirvana.
about
just 10
minutes
about
of Nirvana.
And then it ends with the suicide.
But then third, I need your thoughts about this. Is it better to be popular or being better than? You know what I mean? What is your stand on that?
I think
is
I
it
think
good
it's better
to be
to have-
popular or just be better?
I think it's better to be better. You know, you can have popularity, but you know, Kurt Cobain didn't even want popularity. It's in his journals. He
Yeah.
did not want popularity. He did not want to sell out. And he was signed to the most
Kurt,
Geffen Records, the most corporate record company you could sign to, and they signed to it.
Kurt Cobain was the one kind of guy that hated to be famous. He hated to be popular.
And then
But the
even
more he
popular-
hated it, the more popular he got.
Yeah, and then even more popular when he died.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's what happens when a celebrity dies. All of a sudden, he becomes
God.
God. He becomes an icon.
The
he
27 Club.
Yeah.
All because he killed himself, and which he lied to his fans.
We want to tell you, Stonecutters want to tell you a big reality about Nirvana. He, in fact, has lied to all of our fans for years. Because if you listen closely to Come As You Are, he says, I don't have a gun. And yes, he did.
He did.
Because then he went, boop! And that was the end. Done. So I will still say that like Nirvana had a different. They were pricks
They were
because
real pricks.
they
Yeah.
hated to perform their hits live. MTV Music Awards 1992.
Yeah.
Can you please do Smell Like Teen Spirit? Fuck
No.
no. We're
And
gonna
then-
do
yeah.
Lithium.
And the Unplugged.
Can you please play your hits? No. We're gonna
Right.
do one. Come As You Are.
They only did the Unplugged. They didn't do any of the hits.
Come As You Are. That's
But
the
you want to
only
know
one.
something? I will defend the Unplugged. The Unplugged out of the grunge bands is probably the best one.
It is the best one because you know what? So if you listen closely also, it has the most mistakes. It's such a raw.
It's raw.
It's a raw record.
That's what I like about it. You know what was really bad? See, I like Alice in Chains better than Nirvana. Alice in Chains Unplugged is one of the worst ones I've ever heard because Lane was so fucked up on heroin. And he's singing the songs. Hey, my, like he's just out of it. It has gained a cult following in the years. Like when it came out, it wasn't that celebrated. I'm not one of those followers. I still think it's pretty bad.
And I will say though, third, that like thanks to the Nirvana Unplugged, the Unplugged franchise, the brand became a brand.
Yeah, even
Thanks
though it's
to
not
the-
much of a brand anymore.
It's not much of a brand anymore because we will do a video of this in the upcoming weeks about what happened with MTV.
Right.
Why cannot have evolution of artists thanks to a channel, thanks to like a source that they can actually expand their brand. But I will say that the Unplugged also gave the Man Who Sold the World.
Oh yeah.
It gave a new number of songs.
And that's one of those covers that's better than the original.
Exactly.
You listen to that, you think about Nirvana. You
Yeah.
don't think about David Bowie.
Not many people know that David Bowie is the
Right. Just like
is-
Black Magic Woman with Fleetwood Mac.
Till not too long ago, Thayer brought it to me in one of the episodes of Stonecutters when we were not doing this live. He says, "Do you know that Black Magic Woman is by Fleetwood Mac?" And I'm like, "No fucking way! It's Santana. We all know that's Santana's biggest hit." He goes, "No," and he proved it to me. And now, and from that moment on, Santana, I lost all the respect that I had for you. I thought that you represented me. Not anymore, sir. Not anymore.
Why can't you write your own shit?
Why can't you write your own stuff?
All he did to it was add a 7-minute solo. And
I'm like, he's a good guitar player, but that's all it is.
yeah.
Because he needs somebody else to be singing with him all the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Smooth.
It's smooth. No? Can Rob Thomas.
Oh yeah.
If you ask people in America, they're like, when you hear na-na-na-na-na, they don't say Santana, they say Rob Thomas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the Rob Thomas song.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you know Santana plays in it? No.
And then we got to go back to Nirvana being pricks.
Yes.
We went off road, which is okay. We like to go off road.
Cutters always finds his way back.
But yeah, like that's one of the big reasons you had that famous Guns N' Roses Axl and Kurt feud. That's one of the biggest reasons was Axl loved Nirvana. He would play their albums to Duff and Slash.
To Duff.
What the fuck's wrong with me? Duff and Slash, and he would go, guys, Slash, this is what music's gonna be. I think the music's gonna go in this direction. He talks like this, very sultry, you know. I think music's gonna shift this way, guys. This is, and they were just like, fuck off, so we're not doing that shit.
We're not doing that crap.
So when they went on tour, he wanted Nirvana to be a part of the tour as an opener or a co-headliner, and Kurt, like, instead of just saying no, was like, fuck you guys. You guys suck. All your music is polished and mainstream. November Rain has an orchestra section and a string section and piano. So then, you know, you have Axl, who was a man-child at the time, and Kurt, who also was a man-child, and they're going at it.
It
So
reminded me.
like literally, like everyone expected in that story, everyone expects, oh, it's a feud. Of course, Axl started it. No, all he said was join the, and in the Don't Cry video, he's wearing the Nirvana blue hat.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was a fan, but
He
then
was
Kurt
a fan,
was like,
yeah.
fuck you, you know, you suck. Then the high accent.
And then there's a lot of stories that during that Video Music Awards, they were like trailers.
Yeah.
The Nirvana trailer was right next to the Guns N' Roses trailer, and Courtney Love and Kurt will see them. Will see Axl walking by, and they'll start Axl. They will start like doing things to piss him off.
Yeah, and everyone who hears that story thinks it was Axl that was the instigator.
No, it was Kurt, because like he was legit a piece of shit. He was.
He was.
You can like somebody's music, but you cannot take away the fact that he was a piece of crap.
Oh yeah. Every artist that also played grunge, they suck. Why? Oh, because they did a solo or something, and they're not raw enough.
And also, for when In Utero was released, they almost like he almost not released it because he wanted all creative control.
Oh,
He
yeah.
wanted all the credit for the songs and everything, and then Grohl and Novoselic, they had to like sell a lot of his rights.
Yeah.
So it was not an equal amount when it comes to royalties. And
It's
stuff.
like what the Beatles.
Yes.
They partnered them together for the songwriting.
Because Courtney Love said, no, you need to get all the money for it.
Yeah.
You need to get all the money,
And
Kurt.
Courtney Love is one of the most despicable women to ever grace us. And then Juan goes, no, Hole is legit.
Hole has a good album, guys. Celebrity Skin, 1998.
Butch Vig.
Oh, Butch Vig, most people don't know who that is. But he produced Nevermind.
Yeah.
And also he's the drummer of
Garbage. Garbage, right? Yeah.
Great producer, but people don't know.
And no one knows that he produced the best-selling album of all. You know, one of the best.
One of the best-selling albums of all time, and it will only cost around $8,000.
Mm-hmm.
But now, going back to the subject, now third, illustrates us why you think Pearl Jam is better. Besides having a song called Jeter.
And that's a shout out to Maurice Jeter, who I know is going to be watching this video.
You're gonna be watching Jeter.
I think that just the Pearl Jam is the better band in terms of instrumentation, in terms of vocals, because like I said earlier in the video, they were doing complex instrumentation that maybe Dave Grohl can do now. At the time, Nirvana could not even attempt it because Kurt couldn't play guitar that well. Who did they always have on tour with them?
The guy from Foo
Pat
Fighters, right?
Smear.
Yeah, Pat Smear.
Pat Smear was like the fourth member of that band because he had to pick up the slack
Exactly.
for Kurt. And everyone praises Kurt as the best guitar, player, frontman of the 90s, and he wasn't. Eddie Vedder was a much better singer vocally, had a better range. Kurt did have the ability to, I'm quoting someone else here, I forget who it is, scream in tune. He could scream and it wouldn't sound off. But Eddie Vedder, you gotta listen to, Jeremy at the end when he's doing that, yeah. I would blow out my vocal cords trying to do that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I just think everything about Pearl Jam is much better than Nirvana. Instrumentation-wise and vocal-wise.
To me, if you it's easier to have access to Nirvana things, because if you listen to the radio, you'll hear Smells Like Teen Spirit a lot.
Yeah.
Because people just relate Nirvana to Teen Spirit. Sometimes come as you are, every now and then Lithium, but Pearl Jam, you need to really be a fan of music.
Yeah.
But I mean,
And they're not like...
an literate fan of music, meaning that you need to look for their songs. I want to tell you, I do like Pearl Jam, but I happen to grow more with them because of you.
Yeah.
Because before I only knew two songs,
Yeah.
Jeremy and Do the Evolution.
Yeah.
1998, shout out of 98 MTV, Latin America.
And they'll never play it live.
They will never play that because that's a bullshit album. Yield, besides that song, is. And,
Yield didn't do too well.
and why I know that because a friend of mine bought it just for that song.
Yeah. Then you have, but like the early albums, like Versus was the album that came out after that, which has Daughter, and then it has, by the way, ignore what's going on up there. I don't know what's going on up there. That's why we're laughing. I mean, talking so loudly. It's because we have a lot of things to compete with because we're still on low budget. We haven't moved into a studio yet.
We will.
Maybe you guys can get us there if you keep watching, damn it.
Remember to watch, damn it.
Watch, damn it. But as I was saying, is early 90s Pearl Jam was probably some of the best music that I've heard in my life.
Tell us the story of Daughter.
Of Daughter?
Daughter.
I believe I know this. I don't think there's a story.
Or you told me a song that like he sings that is about the mom.
Oh, that's Alive.
Okay.
That's a fucked up story. Alive is a fictional story about that Eddie Vedder wrote in his lyrics about a kid whose dad dies, and he thinks it's his real dad or something like that. I'm hazy, so don't quote me exactly on it. He thinks it's his real dad that died. He doesn't know it's his stepdad. And then the mom goes, "Oh no, that wasn't your real dad. That was your stepdad." And then his real dad dies. And then the mom says like, "Oh, you remind me of your dad," and starts banging him. "'Cause I'm still alive. So let's get down to business."
I'm still alive.
Yeah. So that is a messed up song, but there's a story behind it.
The story.
Daughter is I don't know the story, but it's about an abused girl. So she's saying, "Don't call me daughter. That's not fair."
Okay. Well, we all know the story about Jeremy because it's a true story.
This is a true story.
It is a true story.
And people go. I don't know if they intentionally do it out of disrespect, but people go to that kid's grave and take pictures by it
Oh.
because this is the real Jeremy. So
Yeah.
they'll go to Jeremy's headstone and take pictures.
Yeah. Remember when I sent you the video about this? They did a little piece on that.
Tell me I'm him.
And if you go again in awards winning stuff, you could say at least Pearl Jam won the best
They
video
did. They
of
did
the
win.
year in '94 for Jeremy, or '92. Don't
Because
quote
it
me
was
on
a
that.
really good music video. Because back then people put artistry into the videos, like November Rain. That's not grunge, but
No, yeah.
people
Well,
put-
and if you think about it, Nirvana did not have great videos. So.
yeah,
The only one that I will say had a lot of artistry is Heart Shaped Box.
yeah. But Kurt probably didn't want artistry.
And yeah, I will go
He
back
probably
to.
wanted it just. He probably didn't even want to do the music video.
Yeah,
and
he
film
filmed it. I will go back to something that you say that was really important. That Kurt Cobain oppressed or he held down Dave Grohl a lot. Because
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of documentaries that like Dave Grohl had these many ideas of how
Yeah.
to revolutionize the band, keep
I know,
improving,
yeah.
and then he'll say no.
I know he encouraged him one time, because Dave Grohl put out like a CD of solo stuff before Foo Fighters. And Kurt was like, "I like this, this is good," but nothing came out of it in terms of bringing that to the band. And then I think down the line they would have eventually sold out, because if you read Kurt Cobain's journals, the Louie Louie thing, he hated when his favorite bands would go on TV and play Louie Louie because he felt that meant you sold out. So he'd be writing in his journal like, "So and so played Louie Louie today on MTV" or something like that. So I think down the line they could have developed a Foo Fighters sound because they would have had to change if they wanted to keep selling.
But in a way, for example, like I want to bring that also to this episode. What is it wrong with you selling records?
There's nothing wrong with it.
You know?
It's just that Nirvana sold so many records that they're put on this pedestal for that. Just because people like Nickelback went platinum, they're universally hated.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's like you don't have to be, you know. What was I going like with this?
You don't. It's selling now.
Yeah, you know, selling out, like, we sold out. We sold out every stadium we ever played.
Jason Newsted.
Jason Newsted
From Metallica, yes. I mean, it's like, if you start a band, don't you eventually want to sell records? That's the point.
Of course.
I mean, Pearl Jam.
But my problem with Kurt was he acted like he hated this fame and money. He
but
lived
he
in a
didn't-
mansion in Seattle.
He
Not
didn't-
Seattle, Washington. He lived in a mansion. He had money. And he was acting like, oh, I hate all this.
This sucks.
I'm
Exactly.
sorry, but that doesn't suck.
Exactly.
I would love to have one of the best-selling albums of all time, to the point where you can't buy it in a store because so many people are buying it. As a result, you get a shit ton of money and you get to live in a mansion. You have a wife who, at the time, was very hot. She's not the garbage woman that she is now. And, you know, and then you just had a baby daughter.
Yep.
So you have all this success and everything, and you're trying to tell us this is not what I want.
Exactly.
And I know I'm probably going to be like poking people in the heart here, or in their nerves, because a lot of people, they're very defensive over that, man.
But we will do it. We will do it. But I will say also, for example, when you're like Pearl Jam, that like you are a great band, you have some kind of success, but you're not that breakthrough act.
Yeah.
You have the capacity of like put out better music.
I mean,
why? Because there's not so much pressure on
Yeah.
you.
Pearl Jam could have been the breakthrough act. They came out pretty much the same time as Nevermind. It was only Nevermind that broke through. And you know, we could compare them to the Beatles. Is that Pearl Jam's music was not radio friendly. You know what I mean? You have songs about kids killing themselves.
Well, Jeremy on its
you
own
have, you have Alive about incest.
yeah.
So you're not going to have that breaking through
You
and
have a
relating
song.
to people.
You have a song talk about Jeter.
Yeah, you have
Yeah.
a song about Maurice Jeter.
I'm on Maurice Jeter, so
And
yeah.
that type of music is not going to
It was
relate-
not. It was not.
it's not going to
friendly.
relate to moody 90s teens.
Yes.
So Smells Like Teen Spirit is definitely going to relate to that audience.
It's shown more like it inspired people to be rebel.
So when you play
Even the video, it's about like having a mosh
yeah.
pit, being just do crazy things.
When you play that on MTV, people are going to watch it and relate to it. If you play Jeremy Spoke in Class Today, which eventually those songs did get popular after grunge exploded with
Yes.
Nevermind.
Yes.
But as terms of breakthrough, if that's your first introduction to this genre, is a song about incest or suicide, you're going to get turned off and go away.
And like now, Pearl Jam, even if you listen to their songs nowadays, is really good.
Yeah.
Last Kiss is a beautiful song.
Yeah, it's not even, and they're not even grunge anymore. They're like alternative now.
Yeah. Now they were able to polish their sound.
Because they went away for a while.
Yeah.
Because towards the end, when grunge was like dying, because it was around for like a few years and then it died. I'm an anthropology minor in college. I wrote about a 10 to 12 page paper. That's why I know so much about this. So I know some people are probably watching the video going, he's too young, he doesn't know shit about this. I did a lot of research about this. My sister left behind 3 books at home just about Kurt Cobain. One of them was his journals. I read all of them. So I do know a lot. They might not be my favorite band. I might have not have been around for grunge movement, but I know the trends. I know when it went down and when it rose. So I'm just going to stop you right there before you start commenting away. So what I was saying was when it died out, Lane Staley was battling a huge heroin addiction. I think Cornell was as well.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie Vedder was low-keying himself. They were all getting away from the spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
So it really did have a death. And I think it officially died with Kurt Cobain. And then a month after that, Green Day's Dookie came out.
Yep.
And that was
And then punk came back.
And then pop punk.
Yep, came back. Yeah, because I will tell you, like, how I found out about Kurt Cobain's death is I was watching MTV Latin America, and one of the DJs at the time, she came and she said, well, Kurt Cobain was found dead, and they had, like, the whole day just playing Nirvana's, like, songs. The Unplugged, like, was, like, 4 or 5 times, and then songs after songs of Nirvana. I will say that, like, he's dead, put an end to the genre in a way,
Yeah.
because people will say, oh, if you start doing that kind of music, you were gonna end up committing suicide.
Yeah. The only late grunge band which didn't stay a grunge band after the first record was Bush from the UK. Because they came out around like 93, 94. And that was like an overnight success. They released like Glycerin, that album, that first album that had all their hit songs.
I don't want
on
to
it.
close tonight.
I don't want to work tonight at Arby's.
Yeah. I don't want to close tonight with Winston. Shout out for whoever you are, Winston.
So, yeah, I mean, that was, and then after that, it was all pop punk. It was all Green Day, Blink.
Yeah.
There was no grunge anymore after 94.
And there was
95.
it was like Green Day, but then it was a little bit of depressed music also, because you will say in Smashing Pumpkins.
Yeah.
Smashing Pumpkins broke through.
Post grunge.
Post grunge, yes, because the feeling was still there.
Yeah.
Depressed people, depression, be like happiness was not one of their qualities, but it was
Yeah.
more rock rather than just grunge on its own.
Oh yeah.
And it wasn't dark anymore. But again, just final thoughts on this. You say that like Pearl Jam is way better.
Oh yeah.
I still think that Nirvana is more popular and breakthrough, but I will agree that like when it comes to quality, Pearl Jam is better.
Yes.
I will agree with that.
And I will agree with that. We're in agreement.
We
Yin
can
and
agree.
yang.
We can agree to disagree, but I will say who's better to what's popular. Who's more popular? Nirvana. Who's better?
Pearl Jam.
Pearl Jam.
So, on the third,
Juan,
watch Dammit.
watch Dammit.